receive your dryer, will be packed flat. This is to cut cost as much as possible, and it would also protect the box during transport, because it's more vulnerable unpacked and mounted than it is packed flat. You will need 2 screwdrivers to mount this thing. 1 Torx and 1 regular star screwdriver bit. Okay, now we'll take the electric transformer away. The box with springs and hooks to hang up the lures we'll take away, but we will open the box with 15 screws. For this you will need the Torx. Now the sides are marked with which side they are. This will be the right side with the motor. There is a marking on it by the motor which says back and bottom. This end goes to the bottom, this goes to the back. Put that aside for now. The frame that you hang the lures in, we'll put that away now. Then you take out the bottom. Start with the bottom, and we have the other two sides here. This is the left side, and here is the back side. Okay, back side is also marked. Bottom, right / motor, and left / the hole for the frame. Okay, we start. Well, it doesn't really matter which you start with, but as long as you don't start with the one with the motor, because one with the motor is a little heavier and lopsided due to the motor hanging there. Carefully align the holes. Screw this first screw a little bit through the plate so you can see the tip, and that's the tip with the first hole. Then screw the hole in. Screw in the hole. First screw is in, and it started to take form. I will do this a little easier, so it's maybe easier to see in the video. A little edge here on the box. Next screw should align very easily. Don't screw too tight. This is wood. Screw too tight, the screw will rip the threads in the wood, and it won't hold at all. If you want to mount this permanently together, then you put a little bit of wood glue in the crack before you glue the pieces together. Okay, back side, bottom are together. Now we'll take the left side. The part with the text is on the outside of the box. So, like this. screw the screw partially through. First screw. Which one you choose is up to you. It doesn't really matter, because as soon as you get one screw in, others will align fairly well. These boxes have been mounted once before during production, and they've been tested, checked that the motor runs. We made sure that all screws are aligned and all screw holes are aligned, so these will fit perfectly. Again, don't screw the screws too tight. Just rip the threads. We'll put the side with the motor on last. Now, handy to use a box like this, but if you don't, use a corner of a table. The reason why we mount the side with the motor last is because we don't want to damage the motor nor the wire attachments for the motor. Okay, now it's time for the motor. No big trick there. You have the motor, which will be on the outside. Screws will be on the wall on the inside. This. We'll do the bottom first. I'll put it on the floor, it's easier for you to see. In the corners. Now, it's not the end of the world if you ruin the threads for one hole or two holes in these. They will hold together. And you're handy with a drill. Want to secure this more, you can buy these screws from us, or from any hardware store for that matter. Drill up a few more holes and put a few more screws in. If you want it to be permanently mounted, then you put a little bit of wet epoxy in the holes before you screw the screw in. Put glue between the sheets and it will stick forever. You can paint it. You want it a little fancier. only needs to be strong enough to hold the frame of the lure so I rotate. And the idea with this thing is it's perfectly balanced, so you can put quite a bit of weight in there without having much of a motor. Okay, mounting the frame, quite easy. Slide it in. The motor, the axle of the motor has one flat side. If you are smart, you will hook up the power supply first. Now these motors, they are omnidirectional, so it doesn't really matter which, if you plug in the red and the blue or blue and the red. Let it rotate until the flat side of the axle is out. That will make it easier for you to do the part that comes next. Okay, on here you will have one big screw. That screw is to lock the axle to the frame. So what you do, slide the axle in the hole that's on end here, bend the side out a little bit so you can sneak the screw through the hole. Now there's no ball bearings or anything on this, no need for this, but you should match this so it goes fairly freely around, doesn't touch the walls of the box. Then we change the bit to the star bit. Since we align the motor to the flat side of the axle out, we tighten this a bit. It's fairly tight, doesn't have to be too tight, because this is made so if you load this too heavy with something, or something is put so it blocks the way, it'll twist off the axle instead of breaking. Okay, then plug in the power. Which one you plug in first is up to you, but it's up and running. Now I want dummy lure that I have here. Yeah, when you take out the power, it'll continue to rotate a little bit. If you want it to stop in a certain position, you'll have to learn how to figure out how far it rotates after you connect power to it. Usually it's about a half time. Okay, half that roll. The box that contains hooks and springs contains about 10 springs and a bunch of hooks. If you want more hooks, you can buy more from us, or they're easy enough to make using stainless steel wire and a pair of pliers. Now, there's a reason why there's a spring at the one end. And that's so, since there's a fixed frame here, there's no stretch in the lure, no stretch in the hooks. You want something to be a little springy, like this. Now, you hang the lure, yeah. This one still has split rings on it, split hand hooks. Okay, do it like this. Okay. Now, when you mount these, you can happen that you're unlucky, so you start flipping the lures. Let's see if this one does it. Yes, that one flips. If the lure flips like that, then it will not dry properly. So what you'd have to do then is then mount the lure next to it, and then hook up using one of these hooks. Hook the belly loops to each other. That will assure you that the lure doesn't flip, and then it will dry properly. If it flips, then you have to have been very careful with your painting job, because the epoxy will try to run to one, drip to one end, mainly the end that's at the bottom most of the time, and you'll get driplets there.